Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists dental associates with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about DSO contract review. So, if you're a dental associate and you're moving into a practice that is paired with a DSO, what are some of the things you need to think about and the differences between that being in the kind of the corporate practice area versus just a single dentist-owned practice. So what is a DSO? It's a dental support organization. So in many states, a corporation is not allowed to own a practice. They don't want it's called the corporate practice of medicine or the corporate practice of dentistry. So the dentist would still have to own the practice and would be the one obviously providing the care, but a DSO provides support for the practice through administration, billing, marketing, kind of the business side of running the practice. And then the DSO would then get some kind of fee, and then the dentist would do the clinical side of things, and the DSO would do, kind of the administrative and business support. It's pretty common nowadays for a DSO to come in and buy up smaller dentist-owned practices, and then they kind of institute whatever their corporate structure is. And so the main differences would be a DSO is obviously profit-oriented, and then they have their own kind of way of doing business. It's usually much more structured than if you were just at a single dentist-owned practice. The benefits are usually better with the DSO if they're running through whoever the DSO utilizes, but the contracts can be more strict as well. And so I guess this goes for almost any contract, but especially for the DSO, you want to look at one, if it has a non-compete or a non-solicit, and make certain that that's not kind of overbroad or going to have some kind of terrible effect on your ability to practice in the area where you live. Compensation, you want to make sure that it's clearly spelled out. There's different ways to compensate a dentist. You could do a base salary, you could do a daily rate, you could do a collections model. In the corporate dental area, it's much more common to just have a base salary versus some kind of percentage of collections or a daily rate. So you want to make sure that you're being paid fairly, and then having some kind of productivity incentive I think is important as well. Many DSOs won't provide that. I mean, I think it's smart to provide that, but I think more importantly is the schedule. I think some DSOs with kind of profit in mind for all of the different practices that they've scooped up, they tend to make their dentists work more, meaning they'll have less time off. So you want to make certain that you're getting a good amount of paid time off, depending upon your compensation structure. Just a quick aside. So if you're on a base salary, you're going to get paid time off. If you're being compensated purely on a percentage of collections, it's very likely you're not going to get any paid time off. And same with the daily rate. Normally, a practice will not provide paid time off if you're just doing a daily rate. So you need to look into kind of how much time off you're getting and what the expectation is. I guess last would be termination, making certain that the notice requirement is not so big. You would want somewhere between 60 to 90 days as kind of an industry standard amount of notice. I find some of the DSOs have a longer notice period, 120 days, 180 days. That's not something I would accept as a dental associate for a couple of reasons. One, a very long notice period usually means that they're having a difficult time keeping people, so they're trying to lock them in for a larger period of time. And then if you're trying to find a new job and you have a 180-day notice period, the practice may not want to wait 6 months for you to give notice and be able to leave and start practicing somewhere else. So somewhere between 60 to 90 days, I think would be, kind of the ideal amount. I don't generally have a negative opinion of DSOs or the contracts that they provide. It's just kind of a new way of doing things, or at least over the last decade or so. I know people kind of, when I talk to a lot of dental associates every week, and so I'd say is kind of generally have a negative opinion of joining a corporate practice or a DSO related practice. It can be good, but obviously if any job could potentially be, a red flag, potential negative experience opportunity. So for any situation that you're in, you want to make sure that your contract is definitely protecting you. Not so much when you're there, but also when you leave as well. All right, that's a little bit about DSO contract review. If you have any questions about an employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the information listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.